A few days ago, Adobe released a new update of the Creative Cloud suite, and with that, Adobe Premiere introduced some new features for us to use. We've got motion graphics, we've got essential audio tools now, but in this video I'm going to actually show you how the motion graphics work and how you can start to use them. So once you've updated Premiere, if you've already updated Premiere, you'll see that you've now got this graphics tab in your workspace. When you click on that, you'll be presented with a list of new titles and graphics, and you can just select any of these, and you can also create your own, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later on. So you've got different presets. So if I just go into titles, for example, and select maybe film title, drag it over onto my timeline, it'll load the graphic, and then you'll see that your title appears on the timeline. If you play through the timeline, you'll see that the titles are animated. And that is exactly what the motion graphics does, and it's also something that you can create for yourself. So I'll show you how to actually edit this. If you select the title on your timeline and you come over to the editing panel in your workspace, you'll see that you've got this new type tool in there. So once you select that, you'll be able to directly edit the title on the timeline. So I'm just going to call this Dubai, and in this one, riding the metro. And that is literally all you need to do. You'll see over in the editing panel that you'll have all these effects applied to the preset itself, but these are also things that you can apply in on your own title as well. So I'll show you quickly how you can do that if you're starting a title from scratch and you just want to create your own motion graphic and your own animation. So I'm going to get rid of this one, go back over to my graphics, and I'm just going to drag a basic title onto my timeline. It loads it in, and then you'll see that your text is here. I'll go to editing, select the type tool, and change this to what I want it to say. Just going to go ahead and select all that, select the font that I want, and I can increase it, I can add some leading, and you can just do all the kind of stuff that you did before in terms of editing what the text looks like. You can place it in different parts of the frame by changing its position, you know, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to actually animate this and you want to apply some kind of effects to it, I'm just going to add a very simple blur. So I'm going to go over to the effects, it'll bring up the effects, and I'll type in blur. I'm going to grab the Gaussian blur and drag that straight onto my text. Go back over to my editing panel. I'm just going to close this up, and let's start at the beginning. So I want this to blur in, so I'm going to add a keyframe by clicking on this little keyframe animation, and just bring this out a little bit, scrub the timeline a little bit, and drop another keyframe onto there. So if I go back to the beginning, I'm going to bring the blurriness up, and I'm also just going to add a little bit of opacity. So I'm going to bring the opacity down so that it fades in, and I'm just going to stop that before the blur finishes. Then drop that down to 0, and then play it through, and you've got a nice little motion there. So once you've created your motion and you're happy with it, you can go ahead and save this as a preset so that you don't have to do this every time you want to create that same kind of motion graphic, that same effect. So if you go up to graphics and export as motion graphics, I'm just going to call it my blur just for ease. That's it. If you go over to your graphics workspace and you go to browse, you'll see it's been added there. So now all I have to do is drag that onto my timeline, loads it in, and you'll see there it is. And I'm just going to change the text just to show you how quick and easy it is. And you'll see the effect is still applied. And that is pretty much all you need to do in order to use motion graphics. Give it a try, see what you think, and just play around with the different presets because there are so many, and just get to know which ones they are and what they do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any tips and you've already used the motion graphics, then let me know if there's anything that I've missed, because I am still sort of trying to get my head around it as well. So if there's anything that I've missed, then let me know. Yeah, see you on the next video.
المحطة القادمة هي نور بانك. The next station is Noor Bank.